Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy start to this sleepy Monday morning. I'm very much underslept because Elsa found a fart video. She found a fart video and she spent 30 minutes laughing about this damn animation that was farting its way into a toilet seat. Yeah, it's real funny, ain't it? Real fucking funny. I didn't get any sleep, but you just laugh it up over there. Laugh it up just like you laughed at all the people thinking that it's still a damn bear market. People still waiting for 10,000 bucks and Bitcoin's almost at 30,000. How dare you? Disgusting. Anyways, Elsa's the reason for the pump, so bears have at her. Anyways, a lot of announcements to make today. We'll be going over the higher term timeframes, analysis, of course, as well. The 5-year anniversary sale is going to be ending in the next 16 hours, so, definitely definitely FOMO. No, don't FOMO. Watch the videos so you can make an educated decision for yourself, because they'll explain who they're for and who they're not for. And, well, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it is for you. I don't know. That's a decision for you to be making, but that does end in 16 hours. The big announcement, however, is that we're opening up the whitelist for the algo, the bot algo, the algo bot, the Krown algo that I've been working on that essentially automates the strategies from the quant program. Yes, you can further customize these yourself. It's basically in TradingView script format. You've probably seen kind of a rough version of it throughout these videos over the past few weeks here. Anyways, I've been working on this thing for like 4 or 5 months now, maybe even longer than that. I'm not really keeping track of time. But if you're interested in getting on the whitelist, send an email to elsa@crowntrading.net. And by the way, I also made this post in the quant program, but we want to know a few things before we let people in. First and foremost, we're only going to be letting in 25 people at the beginning. Maybe after 3 months, assuming that everyone still has a good experience with it. There's no bugs, nothing like that. Of which so far it's been quite good to me, but still want to be very on the ball with this, obviously. If things are good, then maybe we let more people in. But for this first 3 months or so, starting next Monday, 25 people maximum. What you should email to Elsa, however, at elsa@crowntrading.net again, is 1, your email, obviously. 2, have you completed the quant program? Yes, we're only letting people in who have completed the quant program because you need to know how these strategies actually work so that you don't freak out when you see weird things happening. 3, how many years have you traded? What's your experience? 4, have you used a bot before? 5, where do you trade? And then 6, your account size. The ideal person for this will have an account size of 50,000 bucks or more, simply because, you're not going to start off with that, obviously. God forbid, Jesus, maybe a tenth of that, or if that. But still, want to make sure that these are more established accounts. Anyways, now that we've gotten that all out of the way, it's time to get into the actual price action analysis. So starting off right over here, I want to start off with the weekly Gaussian channel. We were looking at a likely move into the mean band, the old mean band right there, and the top side of that gap coming in from June of last year, 2022. So that has been fulfilled, and we got an immediate, or maybe not an immediate, well, pretty much an immediate $1,000 plus pullback from that region. But right now, Bitcoin's actually looking quite strong right here. So in the event that we see continuation, what would be the sort of next, most obvious thing to be looking for? Well, hey, stop laughing. Stop it. Stop it. I want to see the 5-day time frame close above the mean band right here, or on the 5-day time frame over here. Sorry, the 5-day time frame over here, this is the one that we're looking for, not the prior one. But we just want to see it close above the top side of the Gaussian channel. This is on spot price action. So the prior one, we were looking at the weekly for CME. This is spot price action right here. Any sort of closure above the 5-day top side band on the Gaussian channel, and very likely Bitcoin does go on for an extended rally. Anytime that we've seen Bitcoin kind of play within the red zone after being away from the red zone throughout all times in the past. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 prior times. This would be the 5th time. Anytime that it's actually worked its way through the red zone after, again, being away from it for a while, and then closed above the top side of the red zone, it's gone on for some pretty impressive rallies. Like you see right here, this was about a 124% rally from close to top. You can see this rally over here. This I'm not even going to do it out because, well, I will do it out, but I don't want to. But this is not relatable to be looking at right now. But multi-100%. In this case, same thing over here, goes on for an immediate massive girthy green dildo, and then actually comes back down and retests it, I should say. But that's a 63% move in the interim. And then of course over here, very similar actually, has an immediate sort of big move to the upside over the first 35 to 40 days, and then comes back down pretty harshly, and then works its way sideways and up over the next year and a half. So in this case, in the more near term, is it more likely that Bitcoin actually lifts off a little bit more in the short term after playing out that pullback that we kind of just saw? It's looking like so. This one will actually close tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if it does close anywhere above basically $27,000, I think it's more likely, or at least statistically speaking, it's more likely that we're going to see a move, into the 30s, to low 30s, before anything else. Before the next maybe major pullback. Maybe the major pullback comes from low 30s, 31 to 32, definitely possible. But again, we want to see this closure, so that would be the next big thing that I'm looking for. And yes, we basically got the pullback that we were looking for, coming off of last night's rally with that $1,000 plus move down. Going over here to the daily HPDR indicator, kind of corroborates that story that in the short term, we do see that I believe volatility is still expanding here. Yeah, so this would suggest that it is reasonable to say that there very well might be a move all the way to the top side of the 80% of historic returns range highs, kind of filled out this kind of cyan box right here first before playing out a pullback. And the sort of invalidation for this in the near term would be coming back down below 26,650, especially on a 12-hour or daily closing base. If that happens, very likely a pullback first down to about mid 25s, like 25.5 or so. But until then, the path of least resistance actually to the upside a little bit more. And just kind of put a blanket statement on this, because I do understand that most people are interested in more long-term timeframes. We can do over here is we can say, hey, on the weekly, as long as Bitcoin's above the 200 simple, that white moving average, and the green moving average, which is the 55 exponential moving average, which are currently kind of aligned with each other at 25.5, all pullbacks are higher lows and likely leading towards continuation. And the breakout does indeed look real, as evidenced by, price action 1, and then 2, volume over here. We're seeing a relative extreme on volume, which you do expect on your breakouts or breakdowns, similar to what we've seen, during all major moves in Bitcoin's history, actually. So that was a pretty important one. Anyways, now that I've gotten through that, let me go back into my notes over here, because I forgot exactly where I was. Okay, yes. All right, so we got that. So the next big one is the 5-day. Yes, going back on over here, 5-day closing tomorrow. And then after that, we can focus on the 5-day for CME, actually. But assuming that those fall through, yeah, probably does work its way into the low 30s, with a stop along the way at, 29.6? Let me just double check. 29.8 or so. Maybe in the more medium term, if you will. Anyways, moving on now into the last thing. I did want to get into the 5-day setup over here yet again. Completely unrelated to the Gaussian channel, completely unrelated to anything that we've spoken about before on this particular video before. But in this case, we do see that the 5-day volatility versus stochastic momentum signature is, it looks like it's probably going to be confirmed tomorrow. So what essentially is this setup? Well, it's a setup that we've observed over the full history of Bitcoin, where basically the 5-day volatility gets down and compressed into extreme lows, which are defined as anything below 15 percentile or more. What naturally happens after a compression phase is expansion. Like mathematically, it is, it's kind of inevitable. And that, coupled with the direction of the stochastic oscillator right here, has led towards a high probability of a big move, about a 40% move, in the direction of the stochastic oscillator over the full history of Bitcoin again. So it's been fully back tested, actually. And so I've actually split up my testing here between long signals and short signals. In this case, this is not the right one, but let me just go to the right one. Here we go. On the 5-day time frame, there's been 11 historical signals where the 5-day stochastic oscillator was pointed to the upside and volatility expansion happened. And for those times, all 11 have actually played out with a pretty sizable move, with an average return of about 43% over the course of about 33 days. Here's the thing, though. When we go back to it over here, we can see very clearly that the 5-day is going to be closing tomorrow night, and it's going to have a chance to, what would start to really look like expansion of volatility with a 5-day closure above 15 percentile. Yes, technically speaking, I do want to see it above the moving average as well, and I want to see the moving average have a positive slope. But one thing before the next, we could, maybe get some like we saw over here before the January rally from where it basically said, hey, from $17,500 to 24, was likely. That's pretty much what we got. And it looks like there's kind of another setup brewing here as well. How could this be invalidated? Well, it can't really be invalidated because it's not validated for one. But let's say that tomorrow night upon closure, BBWP comes back down below 15 percentile. That would be a good indication that this is not the move that you're looking for. But for right now, all things considered, with the Gaussian channel, with the HPDR indicator, and with this as well, it does look like this could very well be it. The reason why I bring it up right now is because the 5-day time frame, again closing tomorrow, the direction of the stochastic oscillator is pointed to the upside as long as Bitcoin is above 26,650. It's almost $2,000 away from where current price is trading right now. So we've all seen a crazier thing than a $2,000 dump Ola before about 24 hours, but assuming that this does remain in upside posturing, again, with the closure above 26,650, the probabilities would favor an extension of this upside move first, from the low of where that volatility compressed to again, on average, what we saw like low 40s, which would put Bitcoin at about $30,000. Now, here's the thing. The timing of this would be very bizarre if that was just it, because on average it's taken about 33 days to play out, with the standard deviation of 10, meaning that on the lower end, that would be like 3 weeks at 23 days, a little bit over 3 weeks, and we'd be seeing this move basically within the first 5 to 10 days. So it would be relevant, in my opinion, if we start to see this happen, especially tomorrow, that you're probably going to see one of the more aggressive moves of this towards the top end of the first standard deviation, which as far as returns goes was like 53%. So just kind of playing around with numbers here, 53% puts Bitcoin, basically at the May highs, or not the May highs, but the May rejective highs right here before the big move down at about $32,000. So, somewhere between like 30 to 32 would kind of be where I'm looking for, and then I want to come back to it after that. But this is really a thing for tomorrow to be looking for, and of course this is as I said, relevant as long as Bitcoin is closing dailies above 650? Yeah, 26,650. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, well, we're going to see 5-day stochastic oscillator remain to the upside, plus HPDR, plus the Gaussian channel, all the criteria is fulfilled there, and well, I guess we'd be looking further up first before anything else, or at least that's what the statistics would say is most likely. Of course, until we actually see full, confirmed volatility expansion, still can twist down, and obviously that'd be a great short signal for a move back down to like 17.5 to $18,000. But for right now, it's looking like it's going to be favoring the upside. So that's where I'll leave this particular video. We'll come back at it tomorrow, where it is going to be a lot more relevant for the short term. And with that said, I want to wishing you the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.